Good, thanks.
Yeah. Wow. It looked as
Looking
if
forward.
yeah, go on, sorry.
Well, no, I was
No,
only
I
going to
was
say looking forward to a football match on Saturday involving my team. So I thought I would get out the Palace shirt already.
it's a good thing.
Hopefully, you're
It's
going
a
to
good
win.
thing. It's a good thing I like Palace anyway, so I wouldn't
It
I
is.
would yeah, I wouldn't be offended.
I wouldn't tolerate any abuse from you. I tell you that now.
Oh, for a minute I thought Phantom was gonna join. Yeah, she might join up later on.
Yeah, she does sometimes, doesn't she?
She does, she
We
does.
never see Femi, but I guess that's on the other one anyway, isn't it?
I know, I know. I was tempted to ring him this morning. Not tempted, but I forgot. I was gonna ring him this morning, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't I haven't actually seen him in person since it's going to a month now. I haven't seen him, so
Right.
I was just gonna. But we do talk on the phone anyway. Yeah, I think it's. I suppose he's got a lot on, isn't he? So it's not easy
And
to balance.
He
It does.
works nights, doesn't he?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. So
Yeah.
he's just in the day. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So do you want to do the opening remarks this time, please, Rob?
Yes, indeed. Well, welcome to everybody listening or watching to the Alien Spaceship, where we discuss matters of the day and anything else that strikes our interest, which we hope gives you a bit of interest too. I'm Trevor Gear, and he calls me Bruv.
And I'm Emmy Hikins, and he calls me Cuz. Oh, we got it right this time. It's
We
very
did.
rare. It's very rare.
It is indeed.
Right. Yeah. So I believe last week we talked about the. Was it last week we said we talk about these conspiracy theories?
Yeah, that's true. We didn't really finish, did we? We sort of came to a sudden end when our time ran out, as it often does. But
Yeah.
yeah, there were still one or two conspiracy theories that we thought we might give a bit of airtime to. Did you have any more that you thought of that we didn't cover?
Yeah, I just thought about the that flight MH, the Singapore flight that disappeared.
MH370, wasn't it? Yeah,
That's the one. Yeah, MH370. Yeah.
yeah.
We never found it, did we?
It's
There's
the most weird thing, wasn't it? The most
it is.
weird thing because we read about aviation situations from years ago. I mean, I think before the war, I don't even know. I can't remember the book I must have read, but somebody called Amelia Earhart, who was a woman aviator, very prominent. I think I'm right in saying she disappeared. Her plane disappeared somewhere over the sea. I don't. I think it may have been over the Atlantic. I'm not honestly sure. And we read about things like that. Her plane, I believe, was never discovered. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think it was. So we kind of think that any real mysteries in aviation
Yeah.
would long since have happened. That, with the developing technology of flight and so on, that things become more reliable. But you go back, I don't know, 50 years or more, when it was in the earlier days of flights, then you could sort of understand stuff going missing like that. But to
Yeah.
have MH370, I think it was in 2014,
It was. Yeah.
and it was actually, I remember the dates, the 8th of March, because it was the day before my birthday. So it sort of sticks in the memory. But it just disappeared. It was Malaysian Airlines. But it just disappeared. It was Malaysian Airlines, wasn't it? And
It
it
was. Yeah.
disappeared on a flight I think to Beijing. But strangely, they tracked it so that it turned left instead of going straight on up. So there was talk of a possible, it had been taken over by terrorists or things like that, but nothing was ever really proven. And a number of companies have come into the scene over the last 11 years now, saying we can find it. We've got the equipment to trace and track this aeroplane. And it seems they've never done it. At the same time, I mean, the poor relatives over the years, they've requested, resumption of the searches, and lots of searches have been done in collaboration with the Australian government, which because they thought it could have gone down that way or down in the Indian Ocean. So lots of people have looked, but in a sense, I read a very good book about it actually 2 or 3 years ago by a French lady whose name I can't remember at the moment. And it was fascinating to read the research she had done, whereby bits of a 777 aeroplane had washed up on the shores of an island, I believe, called Reunion, somewhere near Mauritius. And as far as I remember, it was confirmed to be a piece of the wing, probably a flap from the aeroplane, the MH370. And you'd have thought that in itself, the fact they could have perhaps calculated where that may have washed up, computers could have looked and seen the currents and so on, but it never did lead to them. And I think there's other bits of stuff that have been found on shores and so on, which may not have been actually authenticated. But there's something odd about it. There's something odd about that. And maybe there would be because it's never been solved as a problem. But this is, of course, that in itself gives rise to the conspiracy theory, doesn't it? People think, oh, well, there's something's being hidden here. But I have to say, when we can all be traced by our mobile phone, which we got in our pocket, and they can see exactly where we've gone, exactly where we are, not to mention all the CCTV and stuff. But if we ping electrical signals from our phones, which we do, then how the hell they could lose a giant 777 airliner is beyond understanding. It really is. In this day and age, the Earth has become so much smaller, not just by huge aeroplanes making ever quicker journeys, but by technology. We talk about mobile phones and other things. The Earth is so much smaller, and everything really is traceable. There's not